Hey, I'm glad you're here. Alright, let's get to work. Talking about this topic is going to be a bit tricky, so bear with me, because I gotta lay some groundwork. I gotta give a perspective to understand another perspective, I suppose. But in essence, we're going to talk about what inspires you, and what it means to work on something really hard, for a while, a long time even. And for it to not really give you anything in return, it won't really pay off, and perhaps presents you with a sense of failure. It can be a heavy topic, but I'm going to try my best not to go into a deep philosophical tangent, because in reality, this is a very simple topic to discuss, but with very deep perspectives and significance. But let's be honest, I do like going philosophical sometimes. Now, before I jump into this, I'm not a mental health professional, though a good amount of you have thanked me in my comment sections for essentially acting in place as one, so I thank you. It means a lot. But take everything I say with a grain of salt, and if you would like to share your thoughts, stories, or even give some feedback, go ahead and leave a comment. I love reading and responding to them. But my hope is that something I am going to say will resonate with some people out there, and I really hope that it helps. Oh, and subscribe if you haven't already. It doesn't take you much, and you can always unsubscribe in the future. There's a Minecraft world out there that only exists in your memory now. You never showed it to anyone. The world got deleted, you replaced the phone or console it was on, and you only remember a tiny outline of the base you had in that world. Perhaps you have a handful of these worlds, and perhaps you have a handful of drawings, paintings, small projects and goals you once worked on that have only been seen by you, lost in the passage of time, and only glimpses of them exist in your head. Perhaps these were physical attributes where you worked out for a long period of time, and perhaps you still are, but you're losing sight of why you're even trying, or why you started in the first place. Maybe they were mental progression goals. You made a ton of progression, or perhaps you went through a lot, and once more you have to ask yourself, man, why am I put through all of this work, all of this struggle? But anyways, at the end of it all, now that you have some examples, it will make this journey, this discussion between us, easier. Again, I don't want to get too philosophical, but well, we know how my videos end up going. So these sorts of memories are the images that create our starting line for this conversation. I want you to hold on to those memories and glimpses. Perhaps think about all the effort you've given throughout your life that's just sitting in the back of your mind, almost forgetting it's even there. All of that is work. Work that has gone unseen. Work that went unseen. Work, effort, hours, feelings, days, weeks, even months of your life spent working on something, working on what presumably was, perhaps, the most important thing you had to work on at that time, and now all of it is but a fragile memory. However, you definitely don't regret working on those art pieces, on that world, or whatever else you were tackling at that time. It shaped you into who you are now, more or less. But at least I don't think you regret it. Really, at least fundamentally, even if you failed, even if you didn't continue doing what you enjoyed doing back then. Perhaps something broke you down to the point that you felt there was no point to it at all. You felt that there was no reason to keep pouring your time and energy into something that may very well not work out for you, so you stopped. But why did it not work out? What does it mean to work? What requires work so that things can work out? What's the point when your work has gone unseen? What about you? Have you also gone unseen? There's a struggle when it comes to the things we do, projects we have a desire to do, and that's the fact that the majority of it does go unseen, viewed by no one, even though that was probably the purpose of its creation, to be seen, maybe. And to say that only the surface level is or was visible is even an understatement when it is visible. We pour our hearts and souls into a project hoping something will be granted in return for our efforts, when in most cases, that's just not the case. What's even worse is when you try your hardest to change something about your life, and well, perhaps your life remained unchanged. If you work a certain job for a certain amount of hours, you'll get paid a certain amount of money that you and whatever system you're working for agreed the work is worth. But for self-imposed projects, goals, improvements, those that you hoped you will gain something out of it, run on a whole different set of circumstances. And your perception of it might be the only reason why you're still working on them, or why you stopped. So I'm gonna ask you a question or two. And you definitely don't have to answer now because heck, I don't even know the answers sometimes myself. Why do you get up in the morning? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why do you create? Why do you work so hard only to get little to no return? What does it mean to create, to change? What does it mean to craft an answer for those questions? To craft a mindset that serves you, or a perspective, if mindset sounds too self-improvementy, a foundation, a fundamental answer from which you can create your art, your goals, your life from, without being pushed around by ideas of success or whatever you might deem to be a failure. Understanding what your aim is will help you value your work much more than you think, even when it goes unseen. What are you doing all of this for? Do you seek retribution, recognition, reassurance? Nothing wrong if you do. It is conditioned into us at an early age. These are signs, after all, that show us that we aren't outliers in society, even though sometimes we become just that. But we should strive for those things, right? But do we actually strive for them now? Or do we strive for some sort of transaction? Well, again, nothing wrong if you do, but there is something wrong if that's the only meter of success we're working with. If we really do expect things in return for our work, our hard work, well, needless to say, we might get disappointed. And I think that as we have this conversation and reflect on this, hopefully it'll bring some clarity. Hopefully we begin to realize what our motivations really are. We live a life that is very different from our ancestors. We are being pulled in so many different directions that we don't know which way to go sometimes. Sometimes it feels like all the directions are meaningless. Sometimes it feels like we have no direction at all. Everything is gunning for our dopamine, our attention. Everything is quick, efficient, and we just achieve instant gratification. We are pushed towards the ideal image. I need to achieve this. I need to get more of that. Just fill in the blank. And it's all just distracting, really. It really is. And I've said it before, everyone is an artist until they're not. Until rent is due, and until work beats us down, until we're outcasted, until we lose the spark, the meaning, the answer. We want instant gratification, recognition from our peers, more followers, more success, to feel good about ourselves because we're just so numb now. I get it. Listen, I consider myself a failed artist. It's something I pursued for a while. I used to strive for more likes and follows. I poured a ton of effort and money before I even made any sales. So I know the feeling when a project doesn't quite blow up the way I wanted it to. Or even now, when a video I make doesn't get pushed or watched as much as I had hoped. When I don't get or achieve what I feel I'm owed. So yeah, to say it can eat away at your ego a little bit is definitely an understatement. But as I've progressed in my thinking and moved past hard times, moved past failures, I've come to recognize that I wasn't really dialed into a mindset, a self-fulfilling purpose that served me. And after a lot of introspection, even during the process of writing the script and talking to you guys, I've come to land on the concluding statement that the work is the reward. The work is the prize. Hey everyone, it's Might and Stone. I had a lot of fun making this video and I really hope you are enjoying it. Again, I would appreciate if you would like, comment, and even hype up the video so that it can reach more people just like you. And I'd like to thank my Patreon and channel members. If you find my content meaningful and you would like to support, the lowest tier to becoming a channel member is just 99 cents a month. I hope you enjoyed the video. Anyways, anything we do seems to have a price attached to it. How much time does it take? What does it cost? What do I get in return? We stop taking risks because we may pay a price. We stop chasing dreams because the cost is too much. And I want to express that whatever you want to work on, whatever you want to pursue, do it because you have a calling to do it. Just start. I'm gonna use this YouTube channel for example, but as the video goes on, you'll see other examples that revolve around physical health and fitness, mental health, and ultimately enjoying life a bit more. Enjoying it a bit differently. Now, when I first started this YouTube channel, my fundamental goal was to just keep going and uploading in a way that added to my life and not become another stressor. There were a handful of moments where I was just ready to throw the channel away and move on to a different project, but I remembered that this was meant to add to my life without expectations, and to treat any result, any gain, as a benefit in addition, not treat the result as the underlying goal. As long as this didn't feel or turn into a job, I just kept going, because I have had experiences where a passion did turn into a job, passions turn into chores. So if it works out and I get recognized, you get recognized, encouraged, and benefit more than you had anticipated, great, you're winning at this. Awesome. But even if I wasn't, would the passion still remain? Would I still gain something from doing the work without it being recognized? And my answer for this example was yes. I would still be gaining something, and I would still keep going, because my original aim was different. I had no expectations. And I'm laying out this example because a lot of you, me obviously included, have some sort of honeymoon phase with whatever we start pursuing. You're making sales with art, you're gaining views on a channel, you start journaling and tracking, getting in better shape, and your overall well-being, emotional and mental health is improving. But then, what starts to happen is it may all slow down. You may lose motivation, lose your spark, and you start treating your actions as a market. You just end up asking yourself, is what I'm doing even worth it? Perhaps you didn't even have any honeymoon phase, and you decide like, damn dude, there's no point in doing this, no point in working this hard. You feel that pressure, and you start avoiding, leaving, abandoning what once called to you. And then you just stop and just get back in line like everyone else around you. You turn to doom scrolling again, living on repeat with no purpose. You let yourself go. Heck, you start doing the same bad habits that caused you to begin change in the first place. You get stuck again. Then, you pay attention to something. You watch a pretty good Minecraft video. You go to an art gallery or an art store. You have a pretty good conversation with someone, and right in the middle of it, you lose attention. You black out for a second, start to daydream because all of your hopes, your dreams, your goals start knocking in the back of your head, and you feel that calling again. Listen to it. Pick it back up. Start it again. Start it, period. See, and that's the thing, that's the answer. Do the work, because the work is calling to you. Not the prize, not the outcome, but the work. The work is calling. Whether you want to call it divine, a Holy Spirit, motivation, whatever you want to call it, or whomever you want to give credit to, the work is the prize and you're blessed to do the work. It's a pleasure. It is a privilege. To draw, to paint, to sing, to edit, to lift, to run, to think. Shoot, man, I'm getting amped up myself just saying this. It's an intense feeling, and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, you get so moved watching this Minecraft video of a cinematic build, this random art video, and all of these ideas just start flowing, pushing you to try something, to work on something. You suddenly want to try new things. And see, that's the youthful spark you forgot about. You didn't lose. You forgot how to tap into it again. Those are the memories I told you to hold on to in the beginning of this video. You just want to start working, trying a different medium, paint a different picture, build a different house, start a different 2-week phase. And initially, you can clearly see that you don't have the aim of selling your art or gaining a certain amount of views. You just have the aim of starting the process. You become inspired. That's a pretty damn good word to replace motivation and discipline, right? Especially as I took this long to define it for you. Inspiration is your indicator that this work, this process, is driving you from within. Not externally, but internally. The views, the sales, the outcome, the followers, hell, even the money. That's all external, not inspirational, not internal. So you made it this far, right? No, I'm not talking about the video, man. What inspires you? I want to read your comments, man. What truly, deeply inspires you to do what you do? Even if it's getting out of bed. What do you want in life? Where do you want to go? Naturally, whatever you want to answer with, whatever you want to choose, it's going to be accompanied by a little bit of fear, some doubt. That's the pulling of the external, man. It's what you're receiving from the outside. That's not what you deeply, truly seek. I aimed not to make this super philosophical, but I can't help it. Why do we like mountains? Yeah, mountains, right? Why do we like mountains? Why do we want to be at the top of that hill? Why does that penguin go towards the mountains? And why do we resonate so much with him? Why does the penguin in me see the human in him? Why? That's the goal. That's the peak you want to aim for, not the little thumbs up on your cute little post. It's the pulling in the direction of the highest point. That inspires us. And it's the pull to the external, for a lack of better terms, gratification, that gives us that fear. because the world around us makes us lose sight. You got up this morning, got ready, and started your day. Was any of it seen by anyone? Perhaps, but they sure as heck didn't congratulate you or tell you. You might have even gone unseen by you, so maybe start to wonder what truly drives you in the morning. Nah man, I just start my morning. You're looking too deep into this. LMAO. I swear, some guy is gonna comment that because I've seen it before. No, maybe you're not looking deep enough, or you're not looking at the right thing to begin with. We get worried that if we act on what inspires us, we won't find a following. It's not gonna resonate. We won't be accepted. But let me tell you, the world and now the internet is a big place. And it's a paradox because it's getting smaller because we're so connected, but that makes it easier to find an audience. Someone out there will find you. You will be seen and may even become inspired by you. Here's a good diagnosis that you can apply to whatever is motivating you now. Now, when you are driven by external forces from the outside, these are some indicators that you might not be on the right path. Money, fame, influence. If you chase that, you will very quickly fall into a rut. If you're trying to imitate someone because of their success, you will burn out. You were inspired at first, but perhaps from the wrong thing. You become disengaged from your creative path, all because you were following something from outside and not following what came within. Don't let that be you. Identify what inspires you. It's all about meaning. We don't have control over what happens. We only have control over the meaning of why it happens. So go ahead and reflect back from failures, goals, lost hopes, and forgotten dreams, and the meaning it brought to you. You have a choice to decide what all of that meant. And if it meant nothing but despair, alright, let's see how long you can keep that up. But if it had anything else, if it brought anything else, it was important. It was wisdom. It was experience. It was work. The work was the reward. The work was the thing you were searching for. The calling you followed. When you were silent working on yourself, learning, trying, those moments of quiet creativity, grinding it out, working hard, being able to look at the work through the hours, the days, and see where you were and where you are now, that was the reward. You were doing something for yourself. You could tell yourself, hey, that's pretty good. I'm trying my best. Was it perfect? Of course not. Is it gonna be perfect? Of course not. But perfection wasn't the original reward, so why even chase it? Let me give you guys a very great example. Even better than the first one, I think. Your body. You were blessed with a body. Do you keep it healthy? Do you treat it well? Do you take care of yourself? Working out is something I do as a fundamental pillar of my well-being. It defines a part of who I am. It's okay if you aren't as interested into working out as I am, that's fine. But listen to the example. No one, hardly ever, sees the work. They only see the end product. The results, the strength or physicality. Perhaps to them, it's not even impressive. They don't care. No one would ever care or understand the amount of work someone puts into the gym, into running, eating, or lifting. No one but the person doing it. But yet, they do it. They still do it. I still do it. But wait until you get injured. Wait until you get old. Just wait until you have kids. That last one makes me laugh. Is that some metric I have to rely on? Is that really what I'm gonna be influenced by? Or was that something that person couldn't commit themselves, that they had to completely abandon it the moment something changed in their life, rather than adjusting? People train to live longer, to be healthier, not to get injured as they age, to become better than who they were yesterday. Now just replace training with your goal, your inspiration. The training that I do day after day, that is the reward. Coming home from a long day of work, being exhausted, but I still managed to open up that garage and just start lifting heavy circles. That's the reward, the thing that matters in the internal. Everything else is meaningless. Opening up the blinds, making your bed, your first sip of coffee, everything has meaning. When you turn on your computer, open up that notebook, start your car, start a drawing, begin a warm-up, everything you do in silence, only witnessed by you, that is the reward. Whatever those actions look like to you, get absorbed in that moment and dive. Get baptized in the work, because everything you seek lies within it. I've had the external pressure before, and I am bound to experience a lifetime more of it. I've experienced the pressure of being different, not being good enough, being doubted, being doubtful, getting bullied at school, and even being walked on and bullied within my own home. I've lived a life just like you have. I'm not unique. These ideas within this video aren't unique, but I am glad I'm waking up to all of it slowly. But I am. Do not seek the validation from outside of yourself. That's not where it's at all. It's how you can show up today, work, and be happy with it. At this point, you can realize this carries deep into life. Sometimes it's gonna be a combination of introspection and influence to understand struggles, to understand goals and aims. Sometimes you need to read it, listen to it, to watch a Minecraft video describe it in order to apply it. Something I find that brings me meaning is giving back to you, helping you in any way I can. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you're looking to join a community of respectful and like-minded individuals, go ahead and join my Discord server. It's pretty small, you know, it's got about 70 members at the moment, but it's actually very engaging and we're having a lot of fun in it. But anyways, that's it for today. I hope you guys take care.